Even though high school sports are only a few weeks into the season, schools in the tri-states feeling the strain of having to reschedule games because there aren't enough referees to go around.
WGEM's Dylan Smith talked with local and state athletic officials about the situation. So Dylan, just how bad is it?
Well, when you look at the numbers statewide, there's actually been an increase in nearly 2,000 referees in the last 3 years or so. The assistant executive director of the IHSA says the problem is that regions like Western Illinois are more so in a desert compared to a large metro area like Chicago or Peoria. So we are still impacted by a shortage. One referee tells me he's feeling the strain of less people like him on the field. Fall is an exciting time. Touchdowns, spikes, and in between, the officials who help make it possible. John Hinnick officiates local high school and college soccer games, having over 20 years of experience under his belt.
Now it's like all these parents are reliving their glory years through their kids now.
But he says in all that time, one thing has changed.
You know, we're taking time away from our families. We're out here making a few extra dollars.
The spectators who don't realize they're people too.
Even some adults aren't even sticking with it. They're getting yelled and screamed at.
This week, Quincy Public Schools announced the October 4th varsity football game in Galesburg will now be played the Thursday before because of a lack of referees. This week in Macomb, a soccer match rescheduled to an unknown date for the same reason. Bill Connell has been the athletic director at Quincy Notre Dame High School for nearly 30 years and says the last few seasons in particular have been the hardest.
Most of our crews come out of the Springfield area, St. Louis area, Decatur area.
He says local schools like QND used to have a surplus to pull from, now have a handful or less.
Boys soccer, we had a tournament over the weekend. And again, we've always had 3-man crews. That entire tournament had 2-man crews.
The assistant executive director for the Illinois High School Association, Matt Troha, says a relatively newer way to get more help is still gaining traction. Almost 2 years ago, the IHSA introduced a provisional license where 15 and 16-year-olds could become a ref and be paired with the more experienced. As of this fall, Troha says the IHSA has issued just under 400 provisional licenses.
The average age of officials continues to go up. I think that many of our officials now are getting into officiating later in life.
He says the ultimate goal is to turn them into lifetimers like Hinnick. As for keeping refs on the field, Hinnick says a lot of it comes down to treatment by those off the field.
People are wondering, like, well, why are these games getting canceled? That's the reason why, because they're not sticking in the game.
And the QND athletic director says the Raider faithful has managed so far, but he talked to the head football coach this morning, actually, and told him not to be surprised if there's a reschedule in the future. Meanwhile, IHSA officials say the application window to become a referee is open year-round. Daniel.
All right, thank you, Dylan. And the popularity of provisional licenses has been spread throughout the land of Lincoln. Here's a look at a few of the top 10 according to the IHSA. You see Chicago on top with nearly 20, but places like Robinson, Illinois and Eastern Illinois, which has a population of under 10,000, is also cranking in some numbers.